This is the Richard Cloudesley School in London.
Right, there we go, Sophia.
Although this is no ordinary lesson. Not only are these pupils getting to play video games during school time, they're also helping to test some exciting new software.
You try the car one?
Very fast.
They're helping to test the latest version of a suite of programs collectively known as motion input. Developed over 4 years by over 200 students at University College London, motion input allows anyone to control their computers using any part of their body they can move. This could be by moving the eyes, individual limbs or body parts, or even by gestures, facial movements or speech.
Page down.
Giving a raft of potential new input methods to disabled people. Crucially, motion input doesn't need any additional specialised equipment.
Our work with the motion input software was developed in partnership with Intel, and it's focused on AI for your PC. So it runs completely on your own laptops and PCs. It has its own engine internal to do the evaluation of how people can be seen to be moving, and it uses just a webcam.
You ready, Sophia? So it's just the calibration again and then the drive being used.
Safia is using the eye gaze application to play different types of games using eye movements.
You're a better driver than I am.
Afterwards, I asked her what she thought.
So what's it like playing games this way with this new software?
It is good. It helps me to focus.
And is it easy to use?
Yes, it is easy. It helps me experience every action of the game.
And is it better than playing other ways you might have done before?
Yes. I've only tried the Nintendo Wii. This new controller helps me play better.
That's the young ones suitably impressed. Over at UCL, the students working on different elements of motion input were keen for someone slightly less youthful to have a go and see how it works, using Body Point. First up, everyone's favourite block builder and basher, Minecraft.
So I'm just moving around here in Minecraft by using my right arm as a mouse and my left arm is kind of like a joystick. I think I've cracked it now. Oh, it's so cool.
Draw on this look button so you can look around.
I was also able to play Minecraft using eye tracking.
This is amazing. I'm literally using my eyes and my head to look around. The cow! Ah!
You could attack the cow.
Oh, I don't want to attack the cows. So this is basically like a steering wheel.
As well as Minecraft, I was able to take Rocket League for a spin.
The gestures are really cool and I like that a lot. So if I just raise my eyebrows, I'm making the car jump.
The accessibility elements of motion input are all available to download for free on the Microsoft Store. The future aim is to commercialise the non-accessibility applications of the software into industries such as manufacturing or healthcare. But in the short term, it's all about the games.
Now, many of us have a movie that we just love, that we'll watch time and time again and could recite loads of the lines from.
Ghost?
Yep, Star Wars.
Obviously.
Well, how about if the next time you press play, it had the same people in it, it was about the same topic, but there was a different storyline, different dialogue and different music? Would it be the same movie?
Well, there is a new generative documentary about the musician Brian Eno that does just that. And Ben Dorico has the story.
That version of the film was just for you, that will never be seen again anywhere else at any other time.
This is documentary filmmaker Gary Hustwit. If you didn't catch that, he just said that his new film about Brian Eno, the one we all just watched, will never be seen again. It's not an error with the file or a mix-up in the screening. This is the intended result. That's because this film is being billed as a generative documentary, a movie that with the help of generative software can rewrite itself before every screening.
Like, we're so locked into this concept of film and television always has to be the same. It's linear, it's static, it never changes. That's a technical constraint that's from 130 years ago. We don't have those constraints with digital technology anymore, so why are we still sticking with them?
When you create something, you're doing this thing that humans are very good at, which is imagine.
Creativity and how art can be made, particularly with the help of generative technology.
A lot of the ways that Brian creates music and art are also reflected in the way we created the film, because we're not making a normal documentary where we craft each scene and, time it out. We're creating kind of a structure in software that will create our film.
You can think of it like this. Up here we have a pool of pre-cut scenes, hundreds of hours of never-before-seen archival footage, and exclusive interviews with Eno. Down here, we have an empty structure looking for pieces to fill up the slots. Some parts of the film are always the same. Pieces here are pinned in place. But for the rest, the software makes selections, slots them into place based on instructions from the filmmakers, and edits together a new film that it will never generate again.
It can make approximately 52 quintillion versions of the film, which is 52 with 19 zeros after it.
Brendan Dawes is a generative artist himself and the developer of the film's bespoke generative software.
The way to think of it is kind of like a collaborator. I give it some direction, but then it actually I've done this, and I go, wow, okay, let's go down that path and that route. I'm specifically looking to be surprised and delighted.
I'm pleased if people are more confused than they were before, because I think the biggest problem is trying to deal with what I call the appetite for certainty.
I think we normally want to have control as filmmakers of every second. So there's a little bit of surrendering that control, but the result is things that I never would have thought to connect myself. When I see it, when our generative system does it, it's like, oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that connection.
That could be making unusual story choices like jumping around out of chronological order, or juxtaposing two seemingly unrelated scenes. Those choices can lead to wildly different versions of what is supposedly the same film. For example, Gary says the audience reaction to the project, which premiered at this year's Sundance Film Festival, was different every night. The mood shifted based on the choices the algorithm made.
Like the first time the film screened here at Sundance, I felt it was very energetic and there was lots of laughs. But then the second time, it was more introspective and more personal. It just depends on the scenes that end up getting chosen that night.
And you can see those choices happening as you're watching the film. There's text that displays on screen showing the algorithm at work. These sorts of moments can make it easy to chalk this whole thing up to technology, a magic algorithm that somehow creates cinema out of thin air. But the algorithm only succeeds in creating moments of serendipity because of the work of human filmmakers who have worked filming, editing, and mixing material before feeding it into the software.
It's not just about the tech. It is about the filmmaking craft, and we're using it as a tool to kind of extend what we could do. The system is trained by our intelligence as filmmakers, not some artificial intelligence.
A film like this gives us an opportunity to think about what cinema actually is and where new technology fits into the process of how we make movies. For me, I enjoyed the version of the film I saw. It had all the hallmarks of a good music documentary, although the story did seem to meander a bit from time to time. But for the man the film is about, he's happy with that ambiguity. Eno spoke to the audience at Sundance from his home in the UK over the theater's speakers.
I didn't really want to do an ordinary documentary because I always find them frustrating. I like the idea of a film that worked the same way that my music, which is to say with a fairly high degree of randomness in it.
Hustwit and his crew seem to be betting on this idea. In March, he and Brendan launched Animorph, a generative film company that will aim to create more films like this one.
It's an idea, and there are other people who are going to have other ideas about how to use this tool that we've created. So we're super excited to kind of keep collaborating and keep doing new projects and see what the possibilities are.
I interviewed Brian Eno once. He was brilliant, as much a scientist as an artist with a terrifyingly big brain.
Just like you.
bigger.
That's all we've got time for.
Yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.
Bye.